Hello, everyone. It's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. I found this interesting article from Goldman Sachs that was published a couple of weeks ago, several weeks ago, about how electric vehicle prices are falling faster than expected. So, battery prices have been going down now. We expect battery prices to continuously go down because of technological improvements in chemistry and in manufacturing and in efficiency in manufacturing and extraction of materials. And probably when recycling comes online, that'll make for cheaper source materials as well. But battery prices have been even falling faster than we would expect by pure technological advances. If you look at it, they are set to fall 40% by 2025 from 2022. So that is a significant drop. And what this means is new EVs will become cheaper because batteries are the major cost component of EVs, and it will make replacement battery packs cheaper too. Now, like we talked about several weeks ago, um, pack replacement in EVs is not very likely, but there's always a chance of faulty, problems in the battery pack or damage to the battery pack, which would require sometimes replacement. Now, with normal use, battery pack replacement is probably going to be unlikely for the life of your vehicle. I mean, there's going to be edge cases. Yes, if you have a 60-year-old EV that you don't drive very much, yeah, the battery pack's going to degrade over time. But in normal usage where people are putting, 20,000 miles a year on their car, and you're going to keep the car for 10 to 20 years, and you're going to put 200 to 400,000 miles on your car, the battery pack is probably going to outlast the other components of your car. But anyways, it'll make battery packs replacement cheaper. And as you can see here, what they're showing is that what are the different components of the vehicle that make up the price. And as you can see in 2022 and 2023, this cathode material, that's what's taking up a huge share of the price. And the cathode materials are like the lithium, the cobalt, the nickel, and then usually the anode. The anode material is graphite, so it's pretty cheap. Other components here, then operating expenses, profit, and cell to pack. This is the manufacturing cost of putting the cell in the pack. Now, as you can see, they're forecasting that like what's going to happen is this cathode material cost is going to come way down. So you see that's pretty flat. And then so they're saying the cathode material price set, let's say that it stays relatively flat over the next 5 years, 5 to 6 years. The graphite material is going to stay relatively the same. Other components are staying relatively the same. What's going to get cheaper is the operating expenses are going to get cheaper with technological improvement in manufacturing efficiency. The profit's going to go down as more players enter the market and it becomes a more competitive market. And then the cell to pack, that's a tremendous change in price. As you can see, this is going to get a lot cheaper as, again, we get better with the automation and the manufacturing of putting cells to packs. And what this means is that EV prices are going to continue to come down. At what they noticed, what they're saying is when Prius hybrid, when its payback period due to its higher efficiency and putting less gas into it, when the payback period got down to 3 years, then sales broke through. And so they're projecting at $110 per barrel or $90 per barrel or $70 per barrel. When is EV price parity going to happen? So at 110 dollar per barrel, it's going to happen sometime in 2024. At 90, it's going to happen sometime in 2025. At 70, it's going to happen sometime in 2026. And at some point, they're expecting it's going to reach price parity even without a payback period. What you can see here is we've heard a lot of articles about how EV adoption is going down. Well, what it means is EV adoption isn't going down. It's the rate of EV adoption is going down. So EV adoption is still going up. It's just not going up as fast as it used to go up. Like between 2021 and 2022, it was like over 100% growth. And now we're only having like 50% growth. So 50% is less than 100%, but it's not like it's like not like it's falling down. Now, what happened in China and in the EU, it did fall down in January of 2023. There was probably some incentive and economic reasons for that. but in America it went up a little bit. So you can see the slow. America's been slower to EV adoption compared to the EU and China. China's leading the way. They had huge government incentives for EV adoption, and they really wanted to push their domestic EV manufacturing industry and support them with tax credits and incentives, and it worked for them. And so there's 26% of new Chinese passenger vehicles are EV, EU 16%, America 7.5%. But we are globally, that's the trend. And then you see here that they expect that global EV adoption is going to hit 63% by 2024. That's their kind of average estimate. In the best case scenario, they're going to say 86%. Worst case scenario, 50% by that time. And then this lower EV prices is shifting this more towards the hyper adoption thing. Okay, so if you look at this, what is the current price of oil per barrel? If you look at this, oil is sitting at about $80 per barrel. So we're looking at somewhere between this 90 and 70. So somewhere in here is where we're at right now. Of course, oil prices do fluctuate over time. And you can see if we go back to this cathode material, if you look at lithium prices over the past 5 years, you can see that in 2020, 2021 and 2022, there was this huge run up in EV prices. I mean, this is like crazy. It was over at like $600,000 per ton or something like that. And you can see it's really come down to earth. It's been, so we're back to like 2021 levels of lithium prices. Cobalt prices did a similar thing. If you look at this, there was this huge run up in 2022, and it's down to 30,000. So it's less than half of where it was at its peak, almost a third of where it was at its peak. And nickel prices similarly had this giant spike in 2022. It was up to 30,000, and now it's at 16,000. So nickel prices have come down 50% from its peak. Cobalt prices almost down to 30 to 40% of its peak. And lithium prices are almost 20% of its peak, so way down. So you can see that the cathode prices are coming way down, and there's a lot more production coming online, especially with a lot of domestic production probably coming online. And you guys know, like, the Salton Sea has probably one of the largest lithium deposits in America. And that's as long as they figure out a process of extracting it safely, it looks like it's a pretty clean way of extracting it. They can just take the geothermal plants getting the hot water from under the ground and extract the lithium straight out of that and put the water straight back to where it came from. So that should be a pretty clean extraction method in the Salton Sea. So that's good. Anyway, that's good news from Goldman Sachs, talking about how the battery prices are heading down. And I think that bodes well for Aptera prices. You can see if Aptera wanted to release, here, they were going to pay battery prices like this. And now we're here. And I don't think it's going to fall down too much more, because if you look at this, we're kind of back to, like, we're almost near the baseline of what it was back in 2019. So I don't expect it to fall anymore. There's probably going to be slight increases in cost in these materials as EV adoption goes up and there's more demand for the raw material components, but it's way off its peaks, and I think that bodes well for EV prices in general and Aptera prices in particular. All right, well, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.